I have been flying for 10 years, have flown in 8 different countries, most of them in the Cessna 182. The Cessna 182 works perfect in Costa Rica. We have mountains, some backcountry strips, some high elevation, and it works really well. Off-airport landing is not allowed in Costa Rica, so you don't need a tail dragger with big tires because you cannot use it anywhere. So after all these years of flying, I decided to get my Tailwheel endorsement. Most of my flying has been in a Cessna 182 in the backcountry and challenging environment. It is a very narrow strip in Costa Rica. No matter what kind of plane, you have to keep the airplane straight in these kind of strips. It is a short and narrow gravel bar. Again, no matter what you fly, you have to keep the airplane straight for these kind of landings. This is my first hour in Springfield, Illinois, testing this Cessna 170.
That was nice.
Did you help me?
I didn't touch it.
Okay. Perfect conditions and perfect place for the first hour. No obstacles, wide grass strip and cold weather. As a nose-wheel airplane pilot, something that does not feel natural is to push on the yoke to raise the tailwheel, something I will have to get used to. This Cessna 170 has 180 horsepower and takes off pretty quick. Rod was my instructor. It was fun training with him. Now we are in Monroe in Washington. I'm training with Jughead. We fly a lot together in the backcountry. He's 170 and he's a really good backcountry pilot and instructor, and also aerobatic pilot and former F-15 instructor. I try to do good. I think all that backcountry flying in narrow strips helps. This approach I bounced and I didn't like it. I didn't want to start porpoising, so I decided to go around. The difference you will notice during takeoff, with a tricycle gear airplane, you accelerate down the runway and the airplane pretty much is straight on its own until it reaches speed and then it just flies. Takeoffs in a tail dragger require a lot more work. Right rudder will be required to keep the airplane rolling straight down the runway, but constant rudder corrections are necessary to keep it rolling straight.
takeoffs where you pick up the tail and hold it? Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate one.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say on you're doing a very nice slow power addition because you're trying to keep it straight, and that's the way you want to do it. You're at a point you can get more aggressive with your power because you're keeping it straight. But let me demonstrate. I'm going to actually do a no flap.
Okay.
So props in, mixtures in, carb heat is, we're going to run just a bit of carb heat while we talk about it. So I'm going to add the power, I'm going to pick up the tail, and I'm going to show you what a level attitude is. The reason I'm going no flaps is I'm trying to keep it on the ground long enough to talk because it's going to try to fly so quickly, okay?
Okay.
But it is a very uncomfortable, you'd have to get this airplane almost to here to actually hit the prop. It is so unnaturally high, you would never get there unless it was typically going to tip over from something else. You're not going to push it that high and get in there. Okay. So feel free to follow me through the controls.
Pushing on the yoke to raise the tail wheel at the beginning did not feel natural, something you have to get used to it on a tailwheel airplane. This grass strip in the Val was a great place for practicing as well. Wet grass is very forgiving for new tailwheel pilots. My approach is kind of the same as 182, not as much behind the power curve. What I felt is that you need to be straight all the time, work the rudder pedals all the way until the airplane is fully stopped. Also did some practicing and having some fun in this snow-covered grass airstrip, Green Valley in Washington. Landing in the snow with these big tires was like landing on cotton, super smooth. Also very forgiving for a pilot learning a tailwheel. The difference when landing a tail dragger is that it must be going perfectly straight down the runway or airstrip, no drift or crab. At the moment of touchdown, since the center of gravity is behind the main landing gear, its downward inertia pulls the tail down, increasing the angle of attack so the airplane becomes airborne again or seems to bounce. So carrying the right amount of speed for touchdown is key, so that way you won't be bouncing or going in the air again. Or you can kill the lift by pushing forward on the yoke or stick as soon as the wheels touch down. So got my endorsement. I want to thank Jochen. Had a lot of fun training with him, and then now I start training on my own. So a tail dragger needs more attention than a nose wheel airplane, better rudder control and speed control so you don't bounce, get in the air again. So it's less forgiving. For landings, keeping the airplane straight is key. Not only on a tail dragger, but on a nose gear airplane. So if you are in the habit of doing this in a nose gear airplane, it will help you when you transition to a tail dragger. So a couple of pilots who knows me and knows my flying told me I was flying my 182 like a tail dragger. And I can tell the side picture when I approach for 3-point landings are pretty similar to the side picture I get on my Cessna 182 when I do short field landings. The difference is in the 182 I'm coming behind the power curve. In the 170 is more natural. I'm really enjoying this new challenge. Please join me in Patreon. It is very easy to join. To be a patron of Backcountry 182, go to the YouTube channel. On the right hand side there is the link, and then it takes you to the Patreon page. Here you can see all the tiers and what is all about the support for Backcountry 182 YouTube channel. Also, another way to access the Patreon link is in the description of the video I put in YouTube. On Backcountry 182 channel there is a link for Patreon, so just click on that and it will take you to the page. Thank you for watching. It will be amazing if you guys are interested and give some support.